Hello, karatekas! Today I'd like to show some advanced tips for your punching techniques. So these are mistakes that I've made in the past that helped my training, and there's a lot of things that I learned outside when I trained in Japan. So I'd like to share it with you guys in hopes to improve your training. So without further ado, let's start punching. Alright, if you have trouble with your punch, I can help you. First thing you probably want to do is to try to punch from your scapula. Okay, what is your scapula? It is your shoulder blade. Okay, so your shoulder blade connects to your arm, basically. So you gotta think, your punches should come from your shoulder blades. Okay, since your shoulder blades are here, you gotta think your arm starts from here. Does that make sense? Your arm does not start from here, it starts from here. So when you punch, you have to punch from your scapula, and then you punch. Scapula, and then you punch. Try not to punch with your hands or your arms only. If you punch with your arms, it's gonna look like that. Okay, but if you punch with your scapula, punch with your scap. If you notice, you should see how much longer my punch looks. Okay, this is an effective punch. You can reach further, and plus you can punch stronger. So make sure you punch from your scapula. Next is your breathing. When you punch, a lot of people tend to people tend to exhale intentionally or hold their breath when they punch. That is one way to punch, but that is not an efficient way to punch. So from here, what you have to do is when you punch, you have to think your air kind of leaks out from you. You should not hear your breathing as you are punching. Okay? So it's really important to practice your breathing techniques. So that's why Goju-ryu practitioners, Shito-ryu practitioners practice sanchin, which is a breathing kata. Okay, so it's really important to practice that. So try to incorporate it into your training. Lastly is to use your hip. Okay, how do you use your hip? A lot of people tend to use their hips a lot because they think using their hips creates force when you do your technique. One thing you have to be careful of is that you are fighting someone. Okay, if you are fighting someone and if you wind up like this and then you punch, they see it coming. Okay, so what you have to think, yes, you use your hip, but you gotta do it small. That's the whole point of karate. You can't show your technique too much. So from here, when you punch, you slightly use your hip, and then you pull your hip back as you strike. So what you're doing is from here, you generate that twist, okay? And then your hip pushes this arm out, okay? And then from here, the last moment, you have to pull your hip back as you strike. So from here, wind, twist, push that hand out, one, as you finish, bang, lock it, okay? Some people call it nijugoshi, or gyakugoshi, or gamaku in Japanese. That means double hip, okay? So it's really important to use your hip, yes, but not too much to the point where your focus is going too much to your hip or all your power is going to your hip. Remember, ultimately, your fist and your arm has to transfer that force into that opponent. Okay, so if you do too much with your hips, like so, your punch will not be as efficient and effective. So you have to be careful. Yes, use your hip, but be efficient with it. Alright, that will be it for the advanced tutorial for the punches. So let's keep in mind, using the scapula when you punch, don't just punch with your arms. 2, no excessive breathing or no breathing. You have to breathe, but your breath kind of leaks out as you punch. And the last one, using minimal hip, but pulling your hip back as you punch. That's a very important method to do for a very, very strong punch. So with those 3 points in mind, let's practice 10 punches together. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. やべえ。Alright, that will be it for today. If you liked my content today, please hit that like button below. If you're interested in my future contents and to support my channel, please hit the subscribe button also. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Os!